The purpose of this video is to show you how to use your imagination to achieve your everyday desire. Most people are unaware of the creative power of imagination and often accept life as it is, dictated by external facts. But once you discover this power within yourself, you will boldly assert the supremacy of imagination and subject everything to do it. When people talk about God within man, they often don't realize that this power, called God, is actually the imagination. This is the creative power in man. Everything under heaven is as malleable as potter's clay to the shaping spirit of imagination. A man once told, "I love to listen to you talk about imagination, but I always touch the chair and push my feet onto the rock to remind myself of reality." Undoubtedly, he still does that. But let me tell you about someone who didn't rely on such physical reminders. There was a young girl, just 17, who was sad on Christmas Eve because she had lost her father in an accident that year. Returning home to an empty house, she found herself alone, working as a waitress. That night, as she rode the streetcar, it was raining, and the car was full of laughing boys and girls. She couldn't hide her tears, so she tilted her face upward to mingle them with the rain. As she held onto the rail, she began to imagine that the rain wasn't rain, but a spray from the ocean. She convinced herself that she was on a ship coming into the Bay of Samoa. She felt the reality of what she imagined. 10 days later, she received a letter from a firm in Chicago informing her that her aunt had left her $3,000 before sailing to Europe years ago. The money was hers now, as the aunt has passed away. 1 month later, the girl sailed for Samoa. As she entered the bay, she experienced the same feelings she had imagined, but this time it was real. This entire video is about technique. I want to show you how to put your imagination into the feeling of your wish fulfilled and let it stay here until you fall asleep. From my own experience, I promise you will realize the state in which you sleep. To begin, you must know exactly what you want in life. Create a vivid representation of what you want to see, touch, and do in that desired state. For example, if you want a home but had no money, imagine yourself in that home, moving from room to room, touching the furniture. As you fall asleep in this state, you will see it manifest in your life. If you want a promotion, imagine the responsibilities and actions that come with that promotion. If you are seeking a life partner, imagine wearing a wedding ring, feeling it until it seems real, and fall asleep in that state. In the Song of Solomon, it's written, "At night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loveth. I found him and would not let him go until I brought him into my mother's house." In modern terms, this means feeling yourself into the situation of your fulfilled desire and holding on to that feeling until you sleep. Most people are unaware of the power of imagination, but once you discover it, you become the author of your life. The secret is to center your imagination in the feeling of the wish fulfilled and stay there. This is how you live a more abundant life. Many are afraid to imagine themselves as important or secure because reason and senses deny the truth of their assumption. But I urge you to try it. The wisdom of the ancients is within these teachings, but we have misinterpreted them as history instead of instruction. Imagination connects us to a world of possibilities that becomes real when we think from them, not just of them. There is a vast difference between the two. I first learned about this power in 1993 in New York City from an old friend. He showed me a passage from John 14. "In my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, there you may be also." He explained that this mansion wasn't a physical place, but my desire. If I could create a vivid representation of that desire and dwell in it, I would realize it. At that time, I wanted to visit my family in Barbados but had no money. He advised me to imagine that I was already there, sleeping in my father's house. I did this nightly for a month, and soon after, I received an invitation from my family to spend the winter in Barbados. I sailed there in December of that year. From that moment, I knew I had found the savior within myself. This technique never fails. When you give the imagined mood sensory vividness, it becomes real. I have countless examples to show you how it works, but in essence, it's simple. Know what you want, think from it, and it will manifest. Here's a daily exercise for your imagination. Relive the day as you wish it had been. Revise the scenes to align with your ideals. If you receive disappointing news, rewrite it mentally to reflect the outcome you desire. Imagine receiving the letter you wished for. Thank you so much for being with me today. Happy manifesting and goodbye.